Today I'm going for my MOHS surgery, and because I am having an incision done on my face, I can't wear any kind of makeup or moisturizer. I also made sure I washed my hair because I cannot get the incision wet for 48 hours. And MOHS requires them to cut out a piece, send it to pathology to freeze, and read it to make sure the margins are clean. If they're not, they go back in and they have to cut another piece out. So we'll see how this goes. They say to give yourself the whole afternoon. Make sure you also wear comfortable clothing, something that buttons up the front, something that's washable in case, I guess, they get a little blood or something on it. And my husband's going to go with me, so it should be okay. I'll be glad when it's done, and I'll give you an update as soon as the MOHS surgery is finished. I made it home from the doctor's office, finished the MOHS procedure on my forehead here. Luckily, he was able to get it in one cut. Everything was fine. The edges were clean. He did not have to cut again. So he was able to then stitch it up once he diagnosed that the edges were clean. I did have this piece, they froze it off. I could have went with a cream, but freezing it was fine. He says there's a potential of leaving maybe a white spot on my nose, but I already have a little divot there that he said is not going to go away regardless. And he did another biopsy on a small pimple that just was not going away. Generally, those are something that you should have a doctor look at. If a pimple pops up, doesn't go away, or goes away and comes back, goes away and comes back like this one did, as well as this one. The procedure took a couple of hours. It's a little bit draining, but it's not a horrible procedure at all. They numb you up really good. I get the stitches out in 6 days. So I'm just glad that the procedure is over with. It's a little draining, a little tiring, but it is a necessary thing to have your skin checked. And so I even have to go back in 3 months again to have a future skin check just because of these multiple skin cancers I've had on my face already. Since I knew I was going to have a MOHS surgery today, I made sure I had something for dinner tonight because I knew I wouldn't feel like cooking, so I cooked a corned beef and cabbage in the crock pot. So that was a really good idea on my part because I do not feel like cooking or standing up for a long period of time. So looks like it's almost done. So this is how my face is starting to look. They said in the next couple of days I could get a black eye, and I did start to get one. I have taken the bandage off. The stitches are this way. He said he couldn't put a cut this way because it would pull my eyebrow up and make everything distorted, but I am finding a little bit of a lift of my eyebrow and a little bit more wrinkles, but nothing is totally healed, nothing's totally relaxed, so I have to wait for that. This was the little plug they took out to do a biopsy over here with a couple of stitches, and this was the area that they did some freezing. That I'm not seeing any issue with, and this I just have to wait for the pathology report to see what the next step is with that. I'll show you later what the wound looks like. He did a very clean cut. He did a very clean stitch job, but I have to tell you that it did bother me as far as pain and a little bit of throbbing. So I did use some heat on it at night because I'm laying down and all the blood is rushing towards my forehead. And the heated neck wrap that I have, that I did on a previous video for people over 60, these are good gifts to have. This was really helpful because I was able to pull that neck wrap up over this area here very lightly, and I was feeling a lot more comfort from the heat. The cold or putting ice on it only works for the first, hour or two after the procedure is done, and then after that, heat generally works better. So I was glad I had the neck wrap. So Monday I get the stitches out, and hopefully the black eye will go down by then. and I should have the pathology report, so I'll see what my next steps are going forward after this. So yesterday I went to my dermatologist and I had the stitches removed from my forehead and the one stitch removed over here on the biopsy. This side is getting a little bruised right now. I'm not wearing any makeup. I'm keeping everything clean and neat. This is the stitches that were removed. It looks pretty good. I'm just keeping it hydrated with some Vaseline. The scab flaked off here pretty nicely. Again, I'm using Vaseline. It takes about 2 to 4 weeks at least for this to start to really heal. I still feel a little bit of tenderness around this area and even over here. But like I said, it's black and blue. I haven't gotten the pathology back yet, so when that comes back, I'll know what steps I have to take next. I'm going to head over anyway to my favorite flea market antique mall. It's called the Owl's Nest. I'm going to see what I can find. So I'm going to head out over there and I'll show you what it looks like inside the antique mall and what I decide to purchase, if anything. I'm outside of the front of the Owl's Nest, which is the antique mall flea market, and they open at 11. So once I get inside, I will do a tour for you and show you what they offer. I am still on my quest looking for wicker. Mostly glass, a lot of porcelain, some pictures. Antique clock there, not really an antique clock. Here's a eating entry table, $65. This person sells a lot of things. These are the type of things I look for, stuff that can go outside. I don't have a big house. So she has all these cute little wind chimes. This one is a little hummingbird. That's really sweet. Here's one that's like a hummingbird feeder, filled with little nectar. This one is like a little rain chain back here. And then she has some of the more traditional like wind chimes. Here's somebody that sells religious, above all what they're called, books and gifts. And we have other people over here who are selling stuff from Avon and other cosmetics as well, which is interesting. Some of that might be a good price if you can find something that maybe was discontinued. As long as it's not expired, it's probably fine. She just has a lot of duplicates of things. Probably bought them at a really good price and now is just wanting to sell them. And I don't blame her, because you can get really good deals at TJ Maxx sometimes, and then when they don't have it anymore, you have to go online to Amazon and it gets kind of pricey. She has some cute jewelry here. size. It's only $2.50. And I could use that actually in my entryway. I have some hooks in the ceiling that could be really a good detail because it's gold. And I have a lot of gold mixed in that area. So I was watching today a video from a decorator who said that these very expensive vessels are not worth buying anymore. And this one here says Bordeaux on it is only $13. That is a really good buy. Here's a cool looking antique wheelbarrow. You could put this outside, I guess, if you wanted to. $250 for it though. And some old sleigh, that's $30. They'd be totally for decorative purposes only. And they have a couple of those old porcelain jugs that you see all around. Believe it or not, these chairs, I believe, were just at the thrift store that's around on the next corner, and they were $7.99 because these are just too unusual. They rock, but they're office chairs. And at the thrift store, they were only $7.99, so someone probably picked them up and said they'll try to resell them here, which is really not a bad idea because they're in good condition. This person has the cutest display. They took a bunch of pots and turned them upside down and painted them to represent all the different teams. So they have the Patriots, the Green Bay Packers, the Cowboys. They have ones that look like little bugs. That is so cute, the little bee and the ladybug here. So they have here Rock Chalk, which is the Jayhawks, which is for Kansas. And then they have K-State down here, which is the purple. Here's some really interesting. These are like mugs. So, don't know how much they are. So they're $49.99. This is a Royal Dalton. So it's a Musketeer. And this one here is Royal Dalton, and it's a guardsman, it says. $50 each. A lot of my price point right now. Here's something else you'll see a lot on the roadshow is you'll see these washstands. This person has a cute little booth that's kind of hidden behind a little wall here that they created with some louver doors. And then they have a bunch of little stuff back here. They have that mirror, which is scrolled, which is very pretty. It's $25, I believe. And just some knickknacks, wall clock, milk sign. It's a mixture of rustic, farmhouse, some Easter. So I have a milk can outside just like this, and I see that it's painted in like this copper finish, and mine's just more natural rust patina. I think I may go ahead and do that to the milk container and my little boiler basket. I'm always trying to find brass, so here are a couple of items. There's a brass duck, and the brass duck is $18. This looks like it's brass colored. I don't think it's really brass. Brass birds, they said it's $22. And there's an eagle here for $20. This one is, I don't know, is another duck of some kind. There's this porcelain goose, eagle, but nothing that I would buy from this vendor right now, so I don't need it. And it's not exactly what I was looking for. This is cute, this little brass tray. Says the brass tray is 20, and these are possum skulls. Yuck. So here is a brass stretching cat for $10. So these brass plates like this is all coming back. People think it's gone forever. These things are going to come back, and they're going to start flying off the shelf at exorbitant prices. This person only wants $6 for that one, which is really cheap. And $6 for each of them. I mean, if you need something decorative in that brass style, you can get these. And for $12, you can fit up quite a bit of wall space. Some people even have their Christmas displays still up. They're just going to leave it up probably all year. Maybe someone will come along and want to buy it. You just never know what people are looking for. They have some of these very retro, old school porcelain cats that I can see that are interesting. They have this little duck. I don't know what it is. It's very interesting. There's a little cork at the end. It's a decanter. Look at that. It's a decanter. So you fill it with something, and there's a cork on the back, and then you pour it. That is very, very cool. Very interesting. Here's something super interesting. This is a whiskey decanter made out of porcelain. The lid opens up. You put the whiskey in it. It's $15. I've seen these on the Antique Roadshow. Here's something I would like, but they're way out of my price range. $85 for these porcelain Japan dog bookends. So you see these little dogs. These are something that they would look and find on the Antique Roadshow. They're $3 each. They're just little statues. So here's another mug, and this one is $7. But again, it's not Royal Dalton, but it's $7, and it really is very cute for the money. So if you're on a budget, the $7 would work. If you wanted to get somebody a really interesting gift, this person just has a lot of little knick-knack stuff, but that just really grabbed me, that little mug there. This is an antique butter churn. That's $150 glass. Put the handle, turns that around, and you make your own butter. Amazing. Here's an old croquet kit that they're trying to sell, and they want $120 for it. So that's something interesting. Maybe you'd like that. Here are the two brass plates or platters that I'm going to use as wall art. I think they'll really fit nice in my home decor. I like that they're large. I like the circle shape. I think they just add a lot of texture and interest to a space. And I think brass is going to start to become a much more popular option in a lot of homes going forward. Everything kind of repeats itself, and brass is going to probably come back into style. But for now, I like those, so those are my choices. I also bought the little red dogs that really go with my personality, my taste. I like the size of them, and they're just decorative. I opted against a few of the things, and I ended up finding this really nice wicker and metal plant or flower holder. I think it'll add a nice organic touch to a space. I think it'll work well with what I like to do in my home. It was only $7. So those were my choices this week on my antique mall flea market shopping tour. And if you like this video, give it a like, a share, a thumbs up, and subscribe. See my other videos, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next week on Big City Girls, Small City Living.